Hi guys. You can tell I'm like spotty. I always get hives when I record. Anyways, I have not done any videos in a while, and I have had a few people message me asking me to do some, do like a new child abuse video. So this is not a video of me abusing children. This is like talking about child abuse, which seems to be a subject that people don't like talking about, but it's necessary. So I don't have my phone mounted, and I don't have like my normal like setup or whatever, so forgive me. Basically, I've had a lot of people asking about like how to report. Excuse me, I've also been sick. Reporting like varies state to state, but in the comments in this, I'll post like some national links, and I'll actually post, you know, like child abuse hotline for the United States, and then for a couple other countries. So first, let's talk about, okay, child abuse. Any intentional harm or mistreatment to a child under 18 years old is considered child abuse. Child abuse takes many forms, which often occur at the same time. Physical abuse. Physical child abuse occurs when a child is purposefully physically injured or put at risk of harm by another person. Sexual abuse. I mean, we all know what all of these are. It's so sad. Emotional abuse. Mental abuse. Medical abuse. When someone purposefully makes a child sick requiring medical attention, it puts the child in serious danger, kind of like Munchausen. And then neglect. And like 5 kids die every single day just in the United States due to abuse and neglect, which is entirely too high. So I know I've gone over a lot of like physical abuse symptoms. I think I have like a 10-minute long video on that, but I don't think I went over like sexual abuse or anything else. So here are some signs and symptoms. Sexual behavior or knowledge that's inappropriate for the child's age. Pregnancy or a sexually transmitted infection. Major red flag. Blood in the child's underwear. Statements that he or she was sexually abused. Trouble walking or sitting, or complaints of genital pain. Abuse to other children sexually. And I'm not going to go over, here's some emotional abuse signs and symptoms. Delayed or inappropriate emotional development. A loss of self-control or self-esteem. Social withdrawal or a loss of interest and enthusiasm. Depression, headaches or stomach aches. I really don't feel totally comfortable going over this part just because emotional abuse is weird. It's much harder to spot, I feel like. Neglect. Poor growth or weight gain. I just was reading a story last week about this 5-month-old baby that died. It was a twin, and this baby weighed 4 pounds and had a heart attack. So I read down like in the comments, and somebody had commented, and this lady was like, my baby was in the NICU with these twin babies, and they weighed 4 pounds when they were released, and that was 3 months ago or 2 months ago, I guess. And so it's like, and the other twin, which is like in critical condition right now at the hospital, was also 4 pounds. That's not normal. Lincoln weighed 2 pounds when he was born, and by 6 months old, by 5 months, he was like 6 pounds. and which I know is not a far stretch from 2, but he was 4 pounds when he was released from the hospital, and so that shows that he was gaining, steady gaining, you know? Anyway, so, I mean, the child should be gaining weight. If they're not, and especially that small, if they're not gaining weight, there's something seriously wrong. I don't know the details on that case, but it angers me just talking about it, because that should have been obvious to anybody that saw those children. Poor hygiene. A lack of clothing or supplies to meet physical needs. So someone's rolling around, they don't have a car seat for their baby. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. If their child, you know, you always hear, you know, about stories where, like, police are investigating child abuse, and they always say the child had a diaper that had not been changed in, like, 3 years. That, should not, I have 3 kids, and that's never been a thing. You know what I mean? Like, someone's not changing their child's diaper, that's very disturbing. Poor record of school attendance. Eating a lot in one sitting or hiding food. Sorry, I have to have a drink because I'm like, okay, I'll be out in just a minute. My allergies have been horrible, and I'm like about to have like a coughing fit. So, a lack of appropriate attention for medical, dental, or psychological problems, or lack of necessary follow-up care. I mean, these are all kind of just, I don't know, like, these are kind of all, like, you know, duh, of course that's not right, but a lot of people don't, they're like, well, I mean, they're not hitting the child, so is that really abuse? This is abuse. Neglect is abuse. Here's some parental behaviors, because parents or caregivers or abusers, sometimes they, you know, a lot of the time they'll show signs as well. Shows little concern for the child, appears unable to recognize physical or emotional distress in the child, denies that any problems exist at home or school, or blames the child for their problems. So, constantly blames, belittles, or berates the child and describes the child with negative terms such as worthless or evil. Okay. I will here in a minute, buddy. I'll be in there in just a second. Abuse doesn't start with abuse. I have to say that. Let's say physical abuse generally doesn't start with physical abuse. So if you have a boyfriend that is calling your child, like, names, which, I mean, I don't know why anybody ever would put up with that, but it happens where a lot of the time it's, you know, young girls, and I just heard a few days ago of a case that's being investigated, and it looks like, you know, the boyfriend, he was posting videos calling this 2-year-old child names. I don't know what the names were, but no, that would never, that is abuse. And then also I think that there were also maybe other videos of him, like, repeatedly scaring this child. We've all seen, like, you know, the funny videos where they have, you know, someone puts on a mask and it scares a kid and it's funny, you know, and then it's done. Repeatedly scaring a child for your own enjoyment is very disturbing. That is a lot, like, those are classic signs that If they're not abusing now, they're going to be abusing soon.